What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 7 of the This and That Gaming podcast. My name is Mark, and I'll be one of your hosts for this evening. As always, joining me for this episode, first co-host, new to the team, kind of new, guess we could call him halfway to being a veteran, Dave. Dave, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm good, Mark. How are you going?
Yeah, good. Keeping on. Also, as always, Mr. Darren Dazborg. Daz, how's it going?
Good, man. It's actually episode 8, my friend.
What did I say, 7?
You said 7, so it's 8. But yeah.
I apologise, listeners. It's been a long week.
It has been a very long week, but yeah.
We could start things over, but you know what?
Nah.
Mistakes happen. Happens.
It's not a mistake, mate. We do what we want to do.
Exactly. This is episode fucking 9 if I want it to be.
That's it. No, I'm doing good, man. Good.
Yeah, good. I actually looked at the episode number just as I was about to kick things off, and I still got it right. So there you go. Professionals, we are not. Anyways, like we always do at the top of the episode, we'll go around the table, see what everyone's playing. Dave, let's start things off with you. What have you been playing for the past couple of weeks?
A bit of a mixed bag. The first thing I tried out was a game on Xbox Game Pass called Battle Chasers Night War. Sounds like a handful. Have you heard of this, Mark?
I have. I actually backed the Kickstarter.
Okay.
So Battle Chasers was one of my favorite comic. Well, it wasn't a lot around for that long, but it was a comic that I really loved back in the day. When I found out that they were making an RPG, I had to chuck my money behind it.
Ah, cool, man. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. What I like about it is the graphics and artwork are beautiful. The combat is turn-based. It's sort of similar to, I guess, your older Final Fantasy type games.
Yeah.
You choose a party of 3 players, and they've got different abilities, and you sort of try and synergize some of the abilities. So one of them acts as a bit of a tank, another one a healer, and so on. So that's all pretty cool, and it's enjoyable. The combat doesn't last for too long, and even though it is a little bit repetitive, it was still fun, to play. What was interesting was it had an overland map that was sort of in the style of something like, Super Mario Brothers 3, where there's just waypoints and you move between them.
Yeah.
And you'd fight enemies. You'd actually see them on the map, so you knew where they were. It wasn't random encounters. And then you'd enter sort of dungeons or areas where you're in real-time exploration mode. And that was really cool. So each of your characters would have an ability that they could use. And the monsters would sort of be moving around. There'll be traps, in the dungeon, that sort of thing. And there'll be NPCs to interact with that'll give you quests. So, yeah, a lot of fun. Looks like a really huge game, though. So I only played it for about a week so far. And, I'd probably say I'm lucky if I'm 5% through the game. It's really, really big. Yeah, so that was the first game I tried out. The other thing I played was a mod that was done for Serious Sam, called the Serious Sam Fusion Engine, which was basically done by a team, and they converted Duke Nukem 3D into the Serious Sam engine. It's called Serious Duke 3D. It plays very similar to the original Duke Nukem. The first episode of Duke Nukem has the levels, but what they've done is they've enhanced the levels. So not only do you get the better graphics of Serious Sam engine, but you also get some extra areas, and they have, some swarms of monsters come towards you. The weapons have been refined. So it actually plays pretty well. There are a few issues. The AI is a little bit broken and gets stuck in places. There's a lot of clipping and tearing in the screen at times. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I managed to get through to the 5th level and I was fighting a boss, and then I sort of stopped. But yeah, it's really cool. So if you want to check it out, all you need is the Serious Sam Fusion engine on Steam. For some reason, I had it already, so maybe having the other Serious Sam games gives you that. And once you've got that, go to the mods and download the Duke 3D levels. I don't know how they actually got away with doing it because it's got all the original sound in it as well, but so be it. So that's pretty cool. And then the rest of my time, I was playing The Messenger, which is an old... Well, when was that released, Daz?
Oh, was that late last year, Mark? I'd be guessing.
I think so, yeah. When about
Great
that?
game.
It might have been earlier
Yeah.
this.
I think
Yeah, it could have been early this year.
Nah.
I remember playing Staz, so it was one of our get-togethers anyway. So it's not, it hasn't been that long.
Great game.
It's really good. Yeah, it's retro-inspired platformer, sort of NES type graphics, reasonably good soundtrack. Does get a little bit irritating in some places. Gameplay is really good, and the difficulty is pretty hard, I must say. I did manage to kill the demon boss, and then after killing that boss, it opens up all these portals, and you can do all these other levels, but I've pretty much stopped at that point. But if you haven't tried it already, definitely give it a crack. I think it's available on Game Pass.
It's available on everything, actually.
Yeah.
Much, yeah.
There's just some
about it.
DLC lately as well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, not too long ago, I believe. Looks pretty cool too.
Yeah, they did a nice job. They didn't go overboard with too many abilities, and just sort of focused on, precision platforming and memorizing, boss patterns and stuff like that. And it seemed to work pretty well.
Yeah, it's
cool.
It's a lot like Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it too.
Awesome. Daz, what's been keeping you occupied?
Well, I went away to Brizzy last weekend for the Kong off, so it wasn't that I could afford it, but I had to end up getting it. I thought I need something to keep me busy and my mind off the friggin' flight because I hate flying. But I grabbed a recommendation that you recommended me, Mark, and that was if I can pronounce it properly, it's Agelios.
Oh yeah.
Damn. Wow.
Is it good?
It is. I swear I don't give. It's fucking awesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very, very good.
News for you. Remind me later. I actually found that it's getting a physical release.
Yes, I know. I found that out a couple of days ago, so I kicked myself. But I think I'm just going to end up buying it anyway because I'm an idiot. Because I want the physical version. It's... You love your Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy 3. It's a lot like Wonder Boy 3. Or Wonder Boy Monster World 4, yeah. Sorry, David?
I was just saying, that's really good. I'd love to play it.
Oh, dude, it's great. It's a Sega game. That's not a Sega game, if you know what I mean. The graphic style is great. The music's really good. There's a lot of homages to the Master System. There are some tunes in there that sound like stuff from the Dragon's Trap, and it's really cool. Even the enemies, there's a lot of enemies that look like they're from the Wonder Boy series that are more mutated. Highly recommend the game. I mean, it's a $20 game, but geez, it's worth it. It's so worth it. Puzzles are not stupid hard. You might grind a little bit here and there to try to figure out what's going on, but it's not a bloodstained difficulty. It's a little easier. And you get nice little abilities, and it's such a good game. I highly recommend it. But yeah,
is it on or?
It's on Steam, Switch. I think it's also on the PS4. I don't know if it's on the Xbox. It is?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, it's on everything. There you go. Well worth it. Seeing that there's a physical version coming up, I'll end up buying that anyway. Again. Because I'm an idiot. And, so that took a lot of my time. And also been revisiting the Vita, funny enough, coincidentally. I've been playing Luminous on there again, which is absolutely amazing. I love that game on the Vita. I can sit on that for an hour and on one life. I absolutely love the game. And I recently got a Humble Bundle. It was only like $8. I showed you guys. I don't know if you checked it out. It's called the Bento Bundle 2.
Yep.
Did you check it out?
I did. I didn't get it because
You had most of the games, or
no, not most of them, but like it had Guilty Gear on there, but
Yeah.
it didn't have like the latest version.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was. I don't know, I'm going to be inclined to spend more money, basically.
yeah.
And I wasn't sure if it had multiplayer or not.
No, it does. It does.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I actually loaded up Guilty Gear on it, played that, but I never played King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match before. It's actually really good.
No.
Yeah. So I gave that a good whirl on my last day off when I got back from Brizzy, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Besides that, I've been catching up on sleep and work. So, but yeah, Jelios is, if that's how you pronounce it, is absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it.
As soon as I saw that game, I said, I got to send this to Daz. It just screamed Daz all over it.
It does. I'm actually in there if you look carefully now.
Easter egg.
Easter egg, yes. Yeah, like an egghead.
Giving the game away then.
Okay.
Ah, cool, man.
Marku.
I'm glad to hear. For me, so I haven't been playing a whole lot, to be honest with you. By the time I'm getting home from work, I just can't be bothered playing anything. But
It's like that, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Given it was a couple of weeks ago, I always kind of get that fighting game itch around this time of year. So fired up Street Fighter V again after they released the latest character bundle. So that's been a bit of fun. I'm super happy the way Honda turned out. I'm a Honda main from 4, so he's turned out really, really well. He's probably the most fun of the 3 characters.
Okay.
Lucia is really fun as well. Poison's okay. I've never really been into that character, but it's been okay. It's just frustrating when you try to play that game online. Like, you never know, like, if there's lag, if it's on your end or not. But anyway, that's another rant. Besides that, I've actually been playing a little bit of Dead Cells as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a notification. I had it on my wish list on Steam. Got a notification that it was on sale. So I thought, I'll check it out, and then looked over to my left to see my my games shelf, and then realised that I actually had bought it from eBay a couple of months ago
On the
on the
Switch,
Switch.
yeah.
Put it on the shelf. So I took it off the shelf and actually played it for a little bit. It's actually really, really good.
It's hard though. It's tough, man.
Yeah,
Frustratingly tough.
like fairly early on, it was like starts off fairly easily, but yeah, you can see the difficulty already starting to ramp up. But that'll be just one I'll play. I'll put a few minutes into here and there, and then pick it up. When I'm in the mood for that style of game. But I'm impressed. For a retro style game, like the animations are really, really impressive.
It's very smooth, isn't it?
It reminds me of, in a weird way, Third Strike, like just the fluidity of them and stuff. So, so I've been playing a little bit of that, and lastly, there's a game we're going to talk about a little bit later on. It's actually a mobile game. It's a card game called Teppen, which has just come out, which is actually a Capcom card battle game. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the news. But that's pretty much been about it.
Was there an update for Dead Cells just recently? I think I read somewhere that there was.
It mentions something. I don't know. Is there like episodes to that game or something like that?
Not that I know of.
I think they're just offering free updates from time to time, kind of like what they did with The Witcher.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there might be. I know there's another version of the physical release that's coming out
Ah.
in a few months' time, I believe. I saw something on EB Games for pre-order. I don't know if it's like a Game of the Year edition or something like that, but I actually know when I first started up, I was prompted for an update. So yeah, you're probably right, Dave. There must be have come out for it recently. But yeah, that's about it.
That's it, then, eh?
Cool. So we'll move on from what we've been playing. All right. So to start things off, probably a bit of a serious topic to kick things off, but I kind of wanted to get it out of the way, and the guys, the three of us did kind of want to address this as well. So as you probably no doubt aware, you would have seen on the news a couple of weeks ago, there's been, unfortunately, 2 mass shootings in the US. One was in Dayton, Ohio, and the other one was in El Paso in Texas. Before we go on any further, obviously we want to pass on our condolences to the families of those involved. But as always, when these things happen, the media, and in this instance Donald Trump as well, have once again pointed the finger at video games and saying that these shootings are caused by video game violence, I guess. Now, if you are on the older side of the fence, like the three of us are, we've been dealing with this kind of stuff for years. But what I might do before I share my thoughts, maybe I might throw over to one of you guys. Daz, did you want to jump in first, share your thoughts
On this situation? Yeah, sure. Firstly, yeah, this situation is unfortunate, and it pisses me off. It gets me so angry, and it's not because video games are blamed for it. It's just this shit shouldn't happen, and I always find that the media puts video games to blame. It's a scapegoat. It's just something. It's just an extra thing to talk about in the news when they're not focusing on the real issues here, and it shits me. That's pretty much what I have to say, and it's absolute bullcrap. No, it shits me. Because you know what? It's not fixing the problem. It's not even a band-aid. They're just making things worse, and they're just letting what's really causing the problems to escalate. I mean, what is there? Over 200 and something shootings this year alone in America? What is it all because of video games? Come on. It's sorry, but it's just fucking stupid. It's dumb. America really needs to really pull their socks up and fix this problem, because this is absolute bullshit. That's my 2 cents. Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think the last thing you said there was the biggest point, right? It's the US needs to fix this problem. No other country seems to have the same issue with mass shootings as the US does. And we know that video games are played everywhere around the world. In some countries, probably more than they are in the US. I'd probably say even in Australia, right? If you probably had a graph of the number of sales in Australia per capita, it's probably higher than it is in the US, just we're a wealthier country, so to speak. So, we've got many countries around the world who, have people who play video games. They play games that are considered violent, and we don't have the same issue as the US. And I think the simple fact is we don't have that issue because we have tighter gun laws than they do in the US. Unfortunately, the US has, some political powers that be, particularly, I guess, the National Rifle Association, the NRA. They have heavy influence on politicians, And it scares politicians. They don't want to talk negatively about guns because they will lose substantial funding and, potentially their seat in office. So they go and look for other alternatives. And if we look back at other mass shootings, not that I really want to, but Columbine shooting, which was one of the most sort of famous ones in recent years, the one that what's his name made the documentary about, Bowling for Columbine.
Oh, I forgot his name.
Yeah, Michael Moore. That's right. So that one was blamed on
music, wasn't it?
That's right. Marilyn Manson.
Again, absolute crap.
Yeah. So in all of these shootings, there is one constant, which is most of them involve automatic or semi-automatic weapons. It's insane for the average person to need that. Even if you argue about self-defense, you could have something far less powerful and still feel safe. So. The other thing is, there was that Las Vegas shooting a few years back, that really bad one where the guy was up in the
concert, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, there was a function. It was in the middle of the Vegas Strip, basically, almost. He was just shooting down from his hotel room. That guy was 64. He's probably never played a bloody video game.
That's right.
Video game in his life, right? So there's clearly other factors at play, and sure, the mental illness issue is definitely one of them. And what we have done in other countries, including Australia, is to basically say, we can't trust the average person with such a killing machine as these automatic weapons, so we've banned them, right? New Zealand's just recently done the same thing after the mosque shooting. So, yeah, look, they can pick at any excuse they like and continue to do so, but until they address the real issue, nothing's really going to change.
Which is mental illness and easily accessing a gun. That's what right. It is. That's what it is.
Yeah. And the mental illness has got issues around it as well, right? Because, in a country like the US, unfortunately, they don't have free health care. And a lot of people who maybe do have, signs of depression or anxiety or whatever it is, don't seek any help because it actually costs quite a lot of money too, right? And they may not have money. So,
I don't know if you heard. Look, sorry. My wife told me yesterday, actually. I don't know if it happened last week in the US. A couple. They were in their 70s. They were both sick, and they couldn't afford their medication anymore because it was just too expensive for them. So they killed themselves with a gun. Obviously, he shot his wife, and then he shot himself, all because of the health system. Mate, America, come on. This is they both decided they had to kill themselves because they just couldn't handle it anymore. That's so sad.
Yeah.
So,
Mark, your thoughts?
Yeah.
Look, we've been dealing with this kind of stuff for years, right? In the 90s, it was Mortal Kombat and Night Trap.
Yep.
In the early 2000s, it was Jack Thompson and his crusade against video games. Now it's Trump. The answer to change seems to be obvious, except to everyone except the US. It's just unfortunate that we will most likely never see change in our lifetimes. Probably not even our children's lifetimes, even our children's lifetimes, because for there to be change, it will need to take one politician to stand up and say, you know what, I will risk my presidency to get this bill put through. Because as soon as they make that change, like you said, Dave, the NRA has such a stranglehold over the American political system that whoever does that, their career is basically over and done with.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not really much else you can say. You know, like the shooter that was responsible for the Dayton shootings, it's come out today that he had cocaine in his system.
Oh, there you go.
You go. Yeah. So, and I don't think either of them have actually been linked with video games as well.
So Trump just pulled it out of his ass.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what Trump does. You know. Yeah. He's just an idiot. He's a moron. He's a celebrity that's been given power. And yeah, anyway. Let's move on, shall we?
Yes, to brighter things.
To brighter things. Alrighty. Darren, do you know what time it is? It's time for the news. Oh, I love it. Alrighty. Yeah. Okay, so the refreshed Switch version with the longer battery life and it's got some kind of new chipset or something like that.
It's a smaller.
God.
Go on, Daz. You want to play it?
It's a smaller NVIDIA chip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. More efficient.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
That's right. I thought I had that voice on.
But you didn't.
And
You
I
suck.
didn't. It's a smaller NVIDIA chip. And it's gonna run cooler. Yeah.
You alright? That's Casey, by the way. That's Casey.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't like how she takes over your microphone.
But I love it.
Keep a lid on her, please.
Alright, let Casey get back in your box.
Go back to bed, Casey. Anyway, Switch refresh. It is in stores now. There is a distinct packaging that you can look out for. I think it's like a more reddish box compared to the old one. Yeah, but it's available now. Extra battery life, same price. You can't really go wrong.
What the hell? It just came out? Because wasn't it meant to come out like next month or so, or November or some shit?
Yeah, I guess they just kind of rushed it out. Not rushed it out, but it must have been ready.
Yeah.
Maybe they were anticipating it not being ready in time, or who knows. But yeah. Alrighty, next one. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, so I've been playing a little game that's come out called Teppen, which is Teppen, not Tekken, Teppen, which is a card battle game made by a company called Gung Ho Entertainment, who specialise in mobile games. And it features Capcom characters, and unbelievably, it doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck, does it?
It doesn't suck. It is actually quite bloody good. So if you've played games like Magic the Gathering before, Hearthstone, you know, and the like, you pretty much know what you're in for. What sets this one apart, though, is that being that it's a Capcom game, or a game featuring Capcom characters, it's kind of more almost arcadey in feel, in that it's really, really fast paced. So the way the game works is you pick your hero, so you can choose between like Ryu, Chun-Li, there's Mega Man, Wesker from Resident Evil, Jill from Resident Evil, and there's a couple of others that are Morrigan from Darkstalkers, etc. And like, so each hero has like a special ability that they can use, and you can unlock other ones as you level up. But they're also kind of like very like, if you, David, did you ever play Magic at all? Magic the Gathering?
No, I only saw you and Tim play it over at Darren's house that time. That's the only time I've seen it.
Fair enough. So like in Magic the Gathering, later on they introduced what they call like planeswalkers, which is like kind of like the main character that your deck is built around, and like those characters have like a special ability, and they're also kind of like assigned like a certain color. So like red might be more offensive, green is kind of like buffing your character. Blue is based around like protection. Black is based around like kind of like sacrifice, so you damage yourself to destroy other cards. No, there's another color that I'm forgetting about anyway. But it's very similar. Like if you know a bit about Magic the Gathering, and that this will be like you'll feel right at home. As usual, play this card, buff this other card, etc., etc. But what kind of sets this one apart is that it's more real time. So you've got like a 5-minute timer that counts down. So that's basically the length of the match, and you can play cards at any time. So like if I'm playing against you, Dave, you've got like a mana bar that builds up, and then as that builds up and it you reach a certain number, if that's what you need to play that card, you can play that card then.
Yeah.
So you on each side of the I guess the ring or whatever you want to call it. So you've got 3 slots, so 3 card slots that you can play, and then you'll have the same. And then basically the way it works is, so I might play a character card, and then it'll show like a little arrow that moves from like left to right or right to left depending on the side that you're on. So once that makes that arrow moves its way right across, then it attacks it. The attack basically hits, but you don't have to wait your turn to play a card. As soon as you've gotten your mana, you can play that card. So you can kind of like, so I might play a card, but I don't know what you're going to do next. So you can choose to either take the attack, or you can choose to put like a defender. And again, similar to like Magic, there's like instant spells that you can cast again once you've got enough mana, and they might be buff all your characters or do straight damage to your character, etc. And then your main character has special abilities, in which again it could be like for example, like if you pick Ryu does the Shinku Hadouken, so which is like his big super move, and that will do like straight damage to your opponent and stuff. And it's just really, really fun. It's really fairly easy to pick up, and I think what I like about it the most is it's just so fast paced. It's like, all right, 5 minutes. Generally, the game is probably done like in half that time, and then you can play online. Like when I was playing that online, I was getting like match after match after match, and there's like different leagues and stuff like that. So you'll be matched up against people in your league. So you're not going to get smashed by people that are more experienced than you and that kind of stuff. Being a mobile game, there are transactions and all that kind of stuff, but it seems to be fairly generous. I think the main thing that they're getting money on from is like a season pass, which gets you like more experience per match, which gives you obviously then. So when you gain more experience, you get access to more cards. You get like card tokens, so you can open up card packs and that kind of stuff. So usual collectible card game style fare. But it's really fun. It's free to play. It just came. It was just made available for Asia and Australia a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, check it out. It's on. I believe it is on Android and iOS. Yeah. Then they're talking about potentially maybe even bringing it to PC down the track as. Yeah, if you like, if you're a Capcom fanboy like me and you like your card battle games, definitely check it out. It's worth it. The price is right, and as I said, for once it doesn't suck.
It sounds good. Sounds really good.
It's really, really fun. Like I said, it's just so fast paced. That's what I enjoy about it, and the fact that it's just all very much real time is what kind of sets it apart from everything else. So, yeah. Alrighty, next one. Microsoft's rumored controller wraps around a mobile phone. Anyone want to talk about this one?
I've just seen photos of this. Same, and it looks like it looks a bit retarded.
It doesn't look very good at all, no.
No. So I think they sort of picked this up because, you know, they might have filed a patent for the design or whatever. It looks very much like a Xbox One controller sort of cut in half and then attached to the frame of a mobile screen, right? I presume maybe where they're going with this is the streaming capability that they're looking to have with Scarlet, where you can use your mobile to play games. So presumably you can attach this controller to it and then, you know, still have a good experience using your standard phone instead of having to buy a dedicated portable device. So, I mean, it's early days. It could be a total dud. It might turn out to be really, really cool. I don't know. It collapses. It looks like it might collapse in to actually form a normal controller and then slide out. So it might have two purposes. Yeah, there's not really a lot of info at the moment.
It looks pretty shit. It doesn't look right.
So,
It doesn't look right, but yeah, I'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. You sort of end up with the same problem as you do with the Switch when it's in portable mode, where it's kind of really, you know, long and narrow and bulky. And I think sort of it might not just feel right in your hands. I don't know.
To me, it looks like those Chinese Bluetooth controls that you can use on your phone or tablet.
Yeah.
You know, look, they're a great idea, but I don't know.
okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, next one. This cracks me up since it's been a while. Been out for a while. DayZ has now been banned in Australia due to drug use. Dave, do you want to take this one as well?
Yeah. So Australian censorship laws don't tend to worry too much about, you know, violence and blood and horror themes and that sort of thing. But if you're taking drugs and they give you a positive benefit in the game, that pretty much is a insta-ban. So I don't know why it's taken so long. The game's been out for years, hasn't it? Like in some way, shape or form.
Yeah.
But it looks like I think what DayZ are going to do now is basically they'll probably change the name of the drug to be just a made-up, you know, drug name. And they might add some sort of negative benefit or negative effect to the drug to basically comply with Australian law. And they're planning to do that, I think, just in general in their game. So it won't just be Australian version that gets this, it'll be worldwide. So that was the latest news I heard about this. So I don't think if you're in Australia and you want to play your DayZ, if you've already got it, there's no issue. But look, to be honest, I don't think it'll be banned for too long. I think they'll make the minor changes they need to the game, and then you'll be able to, you know, pick it up from Steam or wherever again.
It's just stupid.
Yeah, it is stupid. I mean, just make the game rated R, and, you know, we're all adults. We understand the impacts of drugs. So I think an R rating is more than enough for something like this.
Yeah. I think maybe we need to look at the laws again.
Yep.
We're almost there, but not quite there just yet. But anyways.
Well, it took so long to get an R rating to begin with, so...
I know. It's ridiculous. Next one. Final lineup. TurboGrafx PC Engine Mini has now been announced. So, yeah, we had an initial announcement of, what was it? Was it 50 games originally? And now it's been bumped to 54, I believe.
57 now.
Oh,
57.
wow.
Yeah. And of the new games that they've announced, I think probably the most important one and the one that everyone was looking for was Splatterhouse. Has been confirmed to be, one of the lineup games. That's pretty much. I think that was the one that people were shocked wasn't included in the original announcement. I'm kind of disappointed that Champion Edition didn't make it in the list as well, but I guess you're going to need the 6-button controller for that too. But yeah, what do you guys think about the final list now? Are you happy with what they've shown so far? I'm still kind of iffy on the whole Japanese and that they didn't separate the two. It's just basically, yeah, here's all the games. Some of these are Japanese. You're probably not going to be able to understand what's
so they're
on.
still chucking in Japanese games in the English machine.
Yeah, separating. Basically, no matter where you buy the system, the way I understand it anyway, everyone's going to have the exact same lineup.
Ah.
Yeah. I think 32 Japanese games and the remainder are non-Japanese, so 25, something like that.
A couple of duplicates, like one might be in Japanese and one might be English, or kind of strange. The disappointing thing for me is that it's still not available on the Amazon Australian store.
Yeah, really weird, and it's the only place you can get it, right? So,
as far as I'm aware of, yeah.
So you can order from the US Amazon store, I think, but the UK store doesn't ship to Australia for some strange reason.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not interested in the TurboGrafx version. It's ugly. So I want a PC engine looking one, not a TurboGrafx one. Looks crap. Big for nothing.
I don't mind. PC engine is definitely the way I want it to go. Yeah, strange.
But there's enough there to keep you busy. It's a lot of good games.
Definitely, and look, it's going to be modded to the shit as soon as it comes out, right?
Yeah, that's right. So who cares?
Is it
on it?
Two controllers? Does it come with 2 controllers or just one?
Well, the original console had 1 port, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like
they're going to be selling a multi-tap for it.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Look, I think I'll just stick with my bloody EverDrive.
Yeah. Unless you can find them cheap, I'll grab one. But
yeah, exactly. I'm still curious to see how this thing's going to do, because it's kind of it's definitely very much a niche console. Even to retro gamers. So yeah, we'll see how it does. Alrighty, moving on from that one. Now this one, I'm excited for this. So a new Bubble game has just been announced. I think it's been 10 years since the last one. Taito making a return to the console market. I think it's Bubble 4 something. Hang on, let me scroll down. What's it called?
I love Bubble.
KC.
KC.
Fantan.
Bubble for Friends. A brand new sequel that will launch exclusively on Switch. Again, this is interesting, but it's kind of makes sense. I think that this kind of game is perfect for the Switch.
It's getting a physical release too.
And it's getting a physical release as well via strictly limited games. 4 players. No word on if the original game will be included, but I'd be surprised if it's not snuck in there somewhere.
Yeah.
As well as solo 2-player modes that were offered in the original game. Yeah, new Switch game will include a 4-player co-op mode, which will be fun. Bubble. So this is what Taito said. Bubble is an extremely popular title in Europe. So we decided to implement a pre-sale in Europe in conjunction with IN Games and Strictly Limited Games. It is also the first internationally developed title since Toyota has re-entered the console market, and the development team is thrilled to be working on this famous IP. I deeply hope that many people will enjoy it. I am sure that they will. Yeah, cool.
I'm actually pumped for that. That just came out of nowhere.
It just out of the blue. I was like, oh, cool. It's interesting. It's been an interesting year for kind of like old IPs coming back, because there's a new Burger Time coming out as well.
Yeah.
And it's cool that they're because that's got the same deal going on. I think it's 4 players as well. So yeah, getting a lot of 4-player co-op games, which is nice. So yeah, Europe will be getting this on the 19th of November. US is not set to get it until sometime next year, which is a first. Normally it's us that has to wait. And yeah, Strictly Limited Games will be releasing a physical collector's edition as well. So I'm sure we'll cover that more once we get more news about that one.
It seems weird to have a staggered release, like a digital game. What's so hard about making it come out at the same time?
It's true.
Yeah, it's odd. It's odd.
Yeah.
But for once, it works in our favor. So, keeping up with the retro theme, first reviews of the Sega Mega Drive, or aka Sega Genesis Mini, are starting to flow through. The influencers have gotten their on the look. I'm not going to complain about this one. Johnny Millennium popped up, aka Happy Console Gamer. He received a review unit a few days back, and look, if anyone deserved to get one, it's bloody him. He's been blowing the Sega trumpet for years. So look, it looks good. I really like the UI on the thing. It's very nice and clear. Have you guys heard much about the emulation or anything like that?
No. Look, to be honest, I've been like really like not with the internet this week because of work and all that kind of thing. So I actually haven't a chance to actually see how this thing looks. So I really need you guys to like fill me in, because I'm excited for it, to be honest. I am.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Like you said, Mark, the UI just looks nice and clean. It's got options to sort by alphabetical, release date, a few other options. It's got all the nice box art, and you can switch the view so it looks like a bookshelf with all your spines of all your games, if you want, as well. The really cool feature is that you can change the language in the settings, and I hope this is actually in the Mini and not just in the review version, but you can change the language to Japanese. It changes all the box art to the Japanese versions, and you get the Japanese version of the ROM as well. So you're really getting, the English, Japanese. You get French versions of some of the ROMs as well. So they've seemed to have done a really nice job with it. The graphic emulation is really good from what I've seen. The sound emulation is slightly off, but from what most people are saying, you would struggle to notice it. I couldn't hear any difference, to be honest, like listening to Streets of Rage, for example. But one person did comment that there was a slight delay in the sound, so it was almost off by a couple of frames. Again, whether you'll notice that, I'm not sure. But it seems to be a far better Mini than any other Sega product in the past. So it's got a working power button, and the reset button works as well. And it's got a volume slider, but it doesn't do anything, the volume slider, but it looks good. And even all the ports. So the port where your Mega CD or Sega CD would plug in, that port you can take the cover off. There's nothing to plug there, but you can take it off anyway. And so it looks really, really good. Yeah, I'm pumped for it. Probably the only drawback, of course, is the 3-button controllers.
Yeah.
Are they wired? They're wired, aren't they? They're not wireless.
They are wired, yeah. I think they're USB, so I don't know, what other sort of USB type controllers might work with this this unit. Who knows? Maybe you could use the PS Classic or PS Mini controllers with it.
Yeah. I'm still very much keen. Yeah, like I said, I was just super impressed with the UI, just how nice and neat. It looked better than the Nintendo Minis that I've seen. I still haven't fired up my PlayStation 1 yet.
Still,
You don't want it. Doesn't look good.
No, but it was really, really cool, and I've heard similar things, like the sound emulation is probably not 100%, but everything else seems to be getting really good reviews. So yeah, it looks like Sega nailed it with this one. So yeah, oh geez, that's out next month as well. Bloody hell!
Yeah, September 19th.
That's insane.
It's a couple of months. Cool.
Well
Alrighty,
done,
next-
Sega. Well done, Sega.
Yeah.
Finally.
Yay.
Golf clap. No.
What's next, Mark?
Go back to bed,
How about Mark?
Casey.
Fucking Casey.
Fuck off.
Jeez.
Jeez. No man,
Where's
Scott.
Casey's older brother, Darren?
Older brother. Where is he?
Yeah.
Pedophile.
Casey, stay in that room, okay? Hi, David. How are you?
I'm good.
That's good. I've got a good new friend here too. His name's Tagster, and he likes to play video games with me. Hello, Tagster, if you're listening.
Okay. Get back in the room too. I love how Mark's just quiet.
Yeah, he's shaking his head. He's not sure how to respond to this.
This is what I'm dealing with, listeners. This is what I gotta fucking deal with. One while, fucking grumpy motherfucker. Oh dear. Next. No Man's Sky Beyond. Dave, I'm gonna let you handle this one because this is very much in your territory.
Yes, it's finally arrived. It arrived on the 14th of August. It's probably their biggest update that they have done in the last... It's actually 3 years now since the game was released, which is
Wow.
impressive. So all the updates have been free. This one is huge. They've added... let me just bring my list up here of some of the features. Most importantly, they've added VR support, so you can now play it using a VR headset. I haven't got a VR headset. I know you have, Daz, so you've got to give it a try.
I'm dying to give it a try.
Yeah, it's meant to be really cool because they've redesigned the cockpits of all the spaceships and the interiors of the vehicles. So when you actually sit in them, you can look around at the controls and stuff. And obviously flying in space with VR would just be awesome. So that's one of the features they've added. They've created a sort of a social hub where you can meet with up to 32 other players and go on multiplayer missions together. So that's kind of cool. I think on console the number of players is a bit less, but either way it's better than what they had previously. You can cook in the game now. It's turning into World of
wow.
Warcraft. You can ride on creatures and milk alien beings and things. There's bigger
wow.
bases. There's power stations. You can. There's a whole bunch of electrical wiring you can do now. They've added more biomes. They've added a new map. They've added new NPC races. I've given it a try. I just started yesterday, and starting from scratch again, the experience is a lot smoother than it was probably a couple of years ago. You essentially get a really good grasp of the basics within an hour, and you're not sort of running around just constantly harvesting materials. So they've increased the stash space. They've made the weapons, the mining beam, harvest much faster than it did previously. The tutorials are a lot better. So look, I'm loving it. I bought it again now. I've got it on PC because I just wanted to try it on PC. But I'll probably talk more about that on the next episode. But yeah, available on all platforms. It's about an 11 gig update, so it's pretty large. And yeah, looks good.
I want to milk Alien Monsters too, David.
Get in the room, jeez. The mug's just staring at the ground. What's the next one? Okay, Iron Fury game. I can take this one.
Yeah, go for it, mate.
Yep, cool. I only just discovered this week. I'm assuming you guys probably knew about this prior. Did you know about this game?
I think this just came out, man.
Well,
Yeah, I'd know.
Initial release date was actually 2018, February last year.
That's weird because it's only just now seem to be making like news headlines because I saw a report for it. Just funny, like out of the blue, not even the one that you sent us on another biggish game website. Yeah, just this week. So
I think it was a beta. I think it came out as a beta for a while.
Okay, so maybe it's gone into like
Yeah.
access now. Okay.
Now, if you're a fan of Duke Nukem, you're gonna love this. The old Duke Nukem 3D. That engine is what? It's how old would that be? That was in the 90s. So
Yeah,
Dude, yeah.
20 years probably.
Well, it says here, this is the first original commercial game to utilize the engine in 19 years.
There you go.
And they've done some amazing things with it. And I love that they've worked with this limited, you could say, engine. And they've done so much with it. And, I mean, the scores are like 10 out of 10 on Steam. And it just looks freaking awesome. I watched the Digital Foundry review on it, and they stripped it, man. They said one of the guys that reviewed it said it's the best game he's played this year. So,
Wow.
and it looks great. I mean, it does take you back, and there's a lot of homages to Quake in there, and even Unreal, the original Unreal, and it's just your traditional first-person shooter in the like of Duke Nukem 3D, but with a little bit sharper graphics. You can tell everything's just refined. Everything runs. I think it runs at 60 frames per second, and I don't know, guys. I reckon give it a go. Look, in Fanatical, it says it's about $36. I don't know how much it is on actual Steam. Fanatical is normally a little bit cheaper.
About the same Steam. I saw it earlier today.
I'm not sure if it's out on the Switch and PS4 and Xbox yet, but it's also getting a Linux release too. So there you go. But yeah, I'm actually excited for this because I was a big fan of the original Duke Nukem 3D. So I reckon this is going to be really good. A lot of good fun.
I'm some video. It looks cool.
How good is it? Yeah, I'd be keen to get the Switch version, to be honest, so I can take it around. But yeah,
Trying to see if it's
It's on GOG as well. I was just seeing what price it was there, but let's have a look. For some reason, GOG went to a German version of GOG. Yeah, it's $36 there as well.
okay.
doesn't look like it's out on consoles just yet. I don't think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just PC at the moment.
Yeah, but it's funny because it's on on Google. It does mention Switch and PS4 and Xbox and Linux. There you go. Cool.
And you'll be able to run it with any hardware as well. That's the bonus.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can run it on this stupid old PC that I'm using. That's awesome.
No, on the Switch and it doesn't run well. That'd be funny.
Yeah, it would. It's true.
Yes. All right. So Iron Fury, which leaves us to our. If I would stop clicking on the wrong shit, our retro topic for the I was going to say the month, but I keep forgetting we've gone like bi-weekly now.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, our retro topic for the episode.
Again, we make our own rules. This isn't really retro, but for us, it's retro.
Yeah, it's not, is it? It's it's in. I don't know what its class. We're just going to say retro.
It's retro. It's retro, mate. We make our own rules.
Exactly.
We make our own rules.
So we're going to take a bit of a look back onto our favourite PS Vita games. Who wants to start? Not me.
Do you guys like the Vita?
No.
Oh, you don't like it.
Hates it so much. Oh, jeez. Oh, I love the Vita. Absolutely love it. I think it's a great console. And the best game on it for me is Luminous. I keep talking about it. I can't help. It's one game I cannot get sick of. It's just, yeah.
It must look pretty good on there as well, right, Daz? I haven't played it on the Vita, but the Vita's screen would make that look pretty awesome.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely, and yes, Mark, it was pretty much a launch title as far as I know.
Yeah.
But geez, there's some good games on there. I've just got a thing on the top of my head now. What did I used to play a lot? Well, obviously, Dave, you've got one. Was there any standout titles for you?
Yeah, so for me, Persona 4 is really good on it. I know it came out on PS3, I think, as well, but Persona 4 Golden on the Vita is an amazing RPG. Awesome RPG, really well done. Suits the console beautifully. I had a lot of fun with Uncharted on there as well. That was probably the first game.
Solid. How solid is that? That's great.
Yeah, really good. And so much fun to have a game like that on a portable system.
Yeah.
It was just the right length. Played really nicely. Controls worked well. Compared to something like, what was the other one? Killzone Mercenary. The controls on there I just found too difficult. But Uncharted was just amazing on there. I played a lot of Dragon's Crown as well.
How good? That was great. It was good too, yeah.
Yeah, the graphics on there were amazing. I have to say, though, I probably found the screen real estate, even though it's such a good screen, or maybe just the way the graphics were on the game, it was just a bit busy. You know, if you were trying to... You've got your character, all these other characters on there. Sometimes you'd lose track of where your character was. So I can't say it was stellar, but it was definitely enjoyable on there. And I think the other thing the Vita was great at was Tearaway. Did you ever try Tearaway on the Vita?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, the using the touch screen behind the unit was really cool. You'd see your fingers pop through on the screen. It looked awesome.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it was really, really well done. So they were probably highlights for me. I mean, now I've sort of modded the Vita as well, so I can play
everything,
a truck of different things. And it's really good for doing that as well. So it also had a ton of sort of PC game ports, you know, Spelunky and Terraria and stuff like that were on it. Super Meat Boy.
Duke Nukem 3D was on there too.
Duke Nukem 3D was on there. But yeah, for me, the standout, the one I played the most was really Persona 4. I sunk hours and hours into that. Marku, what about you?
I've never really been a huge handheld guy, to be honest. But one thing I loved about the Vita that you couldn't really get with other, well, really on the DS, I guess, which is its main competition, was like the fighting games. Being a fighting game. You had like Mortal Kombat 9, you had Ultimate Marvel versus Capcom 3, which was a really good...
That was very good, yeah.
Yeah, Cross Tekken as well. You know, not the greatest of games, but the port was still pretty damn good. And then, yeah, you know, like, it's funny, like, I'm looking at the... at some of the titles now, and it's like, you know, this is not a retro system, definitely not. when you've got like stuff like Stardew Valley, that's on there. You know, I had no idea Borderlands was ported to that.
Yeah, it's
as
horrible.
well.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
doesn't play too well.
I'm not a fan of Borderlands, but yeah. But yeah, like I really enjoyed Dragon's Crown as well. That was really good. It's probably one of my favorite games on the system. Muramasa as well, which was good.
Very good, yeah.
I think you and I imported that together, didn't we, Daz?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yep. I had no idea Fantasy Star Online was on there as well. Part 2. I'm spinning out about that. Just trying to think what else I played. Actually, Darren and I used to play this a lot together against each other as well. Virtua Tennis 4.
Yep, yeah, that was that's up there, man.
You know, and that's probably a bit about it for me. Like I've got a few games, but as I said, I've never really been much of a handheld guy, so I don't have a huge library. But yeah, as I said, for me, it was mainly for the fighting games. You know, was it PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale or whatever it was, which was like
Smash, yeah.
rip off. That was fun for what it is as well. But yeah, that's probably about it for me.
Yeah, well,
Daz?
yeah, standout ones like with the fighters too. Like I really enjoyed Street Fighter X Tekken. Even though I wasn't that big on Marvel vs. Capcom 3, it was a great port on the Vita. That was great. I'd enjoy those on the train ride home after work. Dragon's Crown, pumped a lot of time to that. Muramusa, brilliant game on there. Hotline Miami, actually, I played a lot. That was a lot of fun on there. Yeah, it was really good on that too. Man, there's just so many good titles. It's just a shame that Sony just gave up on it. Injustice was awesome. All right, it's a bit of a downgrade graphically, but it played really well. What game I really think I need to give a chance, and Mark recommended to me years ago, and that was Rogue. Was it Rogue Legacy? Is that what it's called? I remember you recommending it to me. What is
I don't
it?
know if that's on. Is it?
Well, I'm looking here, and it says it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's on there.
Yeah.
Because I remember you recommending it to me for the PS4, but
Yeah.
I might just grab it for the Vita just so I can take it with me. Because I remember finding it really hard, and I remember someone else recommending it to me actually the weekend away. They go, "Oh, have you played Rogue Legacy?" I go, "I've played it, but I didn't really like it." Sorry.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
I finished it on. Well, I finished the main bosses and everything on PC.
Oh, okay. Because I've been told it's a lot like Wonder Boy. Is that true?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say so. Nah.
No. Maybe
It's a lot of. It's a lot of you dying and progressing a little bit further.
Oh, okay.
I didn't find it annoying, but that's maybe just me. I enjoyed it a lot. It's funny because it kind of the Vita has a lot of sort of what's making the Switch successful in that it did quite a wide variety of games, and it had a lot of sort of things that you would only see on a PC type game, right? But unfortunately, it just, I don't know, maybe Sony just didn't give it enough sort of advertising or what it was, but it just wasn't successful. Was it overpriced? I don't think so. It wasn't really that pricey when it came out. So
I think it was fair.
Mm.
It's just the DS, man. Just destroys everything.
Exactly. It's hard to go against go into Nintendo's backyard.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you can have the best graphics in the world, but if you don't have those games like Pokemon and stuff like that,
Pokemon.
Yeah.
It's always going to be an uphill battle. And that's why I think, like, you know, Microsoft hasn't tried to enter the handheld market either, because I think they know it's just too tough going up against Nintendo. You know, and now Nintendo's been smart. They've done the best of both worlds. Switch, so yeah. Poor Vita didn't get the chance it deserved.
I know that screen. It's such a good screen.
It is, man. It's such a solid unit.
Yeah, not the most ergonomic, but definitely a solid unit.
Yeah.
Still works perfectly for me to this day.
It's the Nokia 5110 of game handhelds, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the Vita, I guess. Oh, actually, I should special mention to the PlayStation TV, which is a Vita that plugs into your TV.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I've got one. I've got one. I've got it. I've still got it hooked up, actually.
Did you ever try the Vita with your PlayStation, like using it as a remote play unit? Anyone?
PS4. Yeah, I did it once. It was all right. You had to use Ethernet though. If you didn't use Ethernet, you got too much lag. But yeah, it wasn't really worth doing, to be honest. But yeah. But no, I actually hacked that as well, the PS TV, because if for some reason it doesn't let you play all the games on there, so you have to hack it. Like Luminous doesn't really need touchscreen, but that wasn't compatible.
It's stupid.
Yeah, it's just stupid. That's the reason why I bought the PS TV, and I'm like, well, I want to play Luminous on the TV, the best version of Luminous, and I couldn't do it. So I got really cut, and I ended up hacking it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because I'm bad.
Bad to the bone, man.
Darren's a bad boy.
Oh my god, she's back again.
Mark, you might need to wrap this up before he gets out of hand.
Rest in peace, PS Vita. All right. So just before we go, we did have one listener question from
That's right.
John Gibbs, and he asks, what do you think of those miniature playable arcade replicas that fit in the palm of your hand? I think the screen is too small, the buttons are too small for my pudgy fingers, and you cannot play them for more than 5 minutes. Plus, they are expensive, nearly €30 over here. A terrible idea.
Yeah, I agree with John. Yeah, exactly. I'd probably pay $20 for one that doesn't work. I'd rather just have it like a little statue or something of something like that. I wouldn't want it working. I don't see the point. Sorry, Tag. I know Tag's got 2 of them, but I just don't think. I just think they're too much for what they are, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm the same. There's no chance. The only things I would be potentially interested in is like the arcade one-up stuff, which is, not a full-size cabinet, but it's not a little miniature one thing. Like I couldn't even imagine trying to like look at the bloody screen for more than 5 minutes at a time, let alone trying to play it. Yeah, nah. So
there's a Street Fighter one coming out, isn't there?
Yeah, exactly. You sent it to me like 3 times, and I'm like, no,
not giving them the money. No,
don't want 6 buttons.
It does, and to play, so it's 6 buttons, and to play 2 players, there's like a keychain thing or something like that you connect to, or some crap like that. So second player has to use a little keychain. Like, nah, fuck off.
It's Street Fighter, man. It's Street Fighter.
I'll fucking play them properly. Not. Yeah. Anyways, Dave, your thoughts?
Yeah, no. Most of these things are cheap Chinese crap. They don't play very well, and on a screen size that big, what are you going to do with it, really? Like you said, 5 minutes at most, and your eyes, especially our eyes at this age, are going to start with it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Struggle enough to see it as it is. Imagine looking at that.
The only thing they could be useful for is some sort of attachment to another system. You know how like the Dreamcast had the VMUs with a little screen on it?
Yeah.
That's about the only time something like that could be useful.
Yeah. If they came with like HDMI out or something like that. But again, what's the point?
Yep.
Yeah, no, you nailed it on the head, John. It's a terrible idea and it's a waste of money. And Tags that you should be ashamed of yourself for owning 2 of them. No, we love you, Tagstar. Well, that's it, guys. Anything else you wanted to add before we wrap things up?
Nah, I'm all good, man.
Yeah,
Same. We've got a busy time coming up in September. Lots of games coming out, but
we do. Yeah, so we'll be back in a couple of weeks' time. Between now and then, we've got Gamescom coming up next week. The announcements are already kind of starting to come in from that, so that's good. Trying to think, what's the date? So the 16th. So we'll probably record again around the 30th or so. I'm trying to think if there's any big releases between now and I'm sure there's something that I'm missing. I know Astral Chain will be coming out at the end of this month on a Switch.
oh yeah,
Or 2, but probably not in time for that. But anyways, yeah. Again, everyone, we thank you so much for listening, for putting up with us and our ramblings. As always, Daz, besides this podcast, where else can our listeners find you?
They can find me at the Arcade Perfect Podcast with Sean Tagster. So there you go. Our next episode is actually Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, definitely want to check that one out. As for Dave and ourselves, we're not important enough to have a second podcast, so you can just find us on the This and That Perfect Facebook page. We don't have any other of the social media crap, so you can find us there. I might even try and get off my fat ass this week and try and do some streaming onto the page as well. I'm kind of getting that itch again, so we'll see if I can get that up and running if I'm not too bloody lazy. Otherwise, again, thank you, everyone. Dave, Daz, thank you. Pleasure as always. And we'll check you out. We'll check you. We won't check you guys out because we're not perverts, but we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks' time.
Thanks,
Adios.
guys. Bye.
Go back to bed, Casey.
Get in there.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.